Does that mean anything?
No, it doesn't. It's confidence. We've got to get going.
Yeah, lovely.
Okay.
Lovely. Listen, short and sweet, but because you're due for a pit call any moment. All the best for your Psycho race when you get out there, Aaron.
Thanks very much,
Good to catch up again. Lovely. Righto, we're ready to go again now. This is the start of the rerun. Let's see if they can do it all again. And again, Craig Shearers very quickly off the line. Making the most of that whole position as well there too. Holding it all together down the inside line to Toyota, and hopefully we'll get round. Hopefully as well there too that Lyndon McGee was nothing serious. We saw him walk away, sitting on the tyre wall a bit messed about, but if the bike's okay. Now someone's diving up big time.
Seaton's dived through there.
Seaton's coming through, and all of a sudden, Frost, that's the front row. Frost, Sheriffs and Seaton. And someone go, who's that?
That's Sloane
Frost.
He's up, he's okay. The main thing is
straight
he's okay.
Straight ahead at the hairpin, and Sloane Frost sliding off.
End of the lead to Craig Sheriff, but look at Dennis Charlotte coming through on Chris Seaton. Chris Seaton elected to ride the bike C. He was under the letter A normally, but he's elected to ride bike C. And watch for the big Red Devil Racing. Kawasaki's currently in 5th place there. Dennis Charlotte slowing substantially. I don't know what's happened there with him, Mr. Gear. And that handed 3rd place to Scotty Moyer from Taupo on the beautiful GSX-R 1000 Suzuki. So action-packed in the Formula 1. We've seen Sloane Frost go down already, and Lyndon McGee went down in the last race. Fortunately, they're both okay, but Craig Sheriff, the flyer coming through there.
Well, Craig will be interested in putting points on the board. Of course, Chris Seaton, Scotty Moyer, Dennis Charlotte up there, Nicky Cole ahead of Hayden Fitzgerald, and Tony Reese rounding out the top 7 there, and number 11, the big Honda, back there in number 11. That's a big gap. We shouldn't see that after one lap, though, is it? But of course, when you lose one rider out, everyone else sort of, for a moment, will see Nick Cole coming through, edging through into 4th place. Give them a lap or two to settle down. They've got a distance of what, 12, is it? 10 laps.
12 laps here at Manfield, SuzukiSeries.
12 laps. Sloane Frost can do nothing more after sliding gracefully off at the hairpin, straight ahead into the grass, and can do nothing more there and sit there and enjoy the racing from that vantage point. But the reality of it is, for Sloane, that is seeing his points slip away. Nick Cole will be adding to it, so Dennis Charlotte, Scott Moyer, David Hall, all those capable now putting big points on him in the Formula 1 Series. Brought to you with the compliments of Suzuki, the choice of champions. The long race here, 11 to go, as they swing out of the big sweeper here, the Pepsi sweeper, across the top of the grid, and it's looking good, isn't it? Craig Sheriff, Chris Seaton, Scotty Moyer, and Dennis Charlotte. What's happened? Dennis Charlotte gone back into 5th place that time. We just watched them till they sort themselves out. That's as long as it takes. But we're finding again a good Craig Sheriff looking strong, and he will be strong at Manfield. Knows the circuit better than most out there, and determined to do well as well. Won't be going to Wanganui, so basically the points from here, not a big deal from him, but this is, I guess, for Craig, more about a real sort of a preparation and looking forward to the New Zealand Superbike Championship. Doing it well at the moment, and it is still Chris Seaton running in 2nd, Scotty Moyer. This is good to see Scott Moyer in this class too, Spider, because we're used to seeing him in super motards and the less capacity classes, but up at the big bikes now he's looking good.
Yeah, of course, he run the Wolfpack Racing Honda CBR 1000 2 years ago and bought this bike, Motor TT track day bike, and did a couple of rounds in the New Zealand Championship last year, and he's having a good time. He's learnt to eat well and hydrate well, and he was one of his family too. So Dennis Charlotte going there for the big.
I saw Dennis making the big moves.
Yeah, on the underground bound Suzuki GSX-R 1000.
Is he taking Nick Cole with him though? That's the big thing, because Nick was sitting right behind him. Yes, he knows. Nick's still in there.
Nick's having a bit of a lonely race just ahead. I think it's Hayden Yeah, it is. Lead in 2, 4, 5th place, but Scotty Moyer not giving up on Dennis Charlotte. Dennis Charlotte is trying to ride in the Aprilia of, let us see, Chris Seaton from Australia. Just saw Chris for the first time this season. No, he was out here a few years ago and he was just a young lad. Now he's put on another 2 feet. And,
well, he's 29 years of age. He's got his own building business, in fact. So when Chris comes to New Zealand, he's got to worry about putting on staff and all the rest of it and finding what's happening as well. But no, and as I said before, he is the current lap record holder at the Cemetery Circuit for the 600 Supersport class, set way back in 2006. And of course, Brian Bernard, he was with the Brian Bernard race team then as well. Cedo and Brian Bernard, they were a winning combination. And this is a winning combination out there, Suzuki. Suzuki and Craig Shirts at the moment, and that was looking good as he pushed the strike. That gap's just getting bigger, and all of a sudden Dennis Charlotte is making the move as well. He knows he has to do that. He didn't make the move. He's tight on the inside of Seaton. Seaton keeps him at bay, going through Toyota. They were side by side. Dennis made the big drive up on the inside. It didn't quite come off, but he's sitting right in behind Chris Seaton now, and looking to weave through, but he's sitting right behind Dennis, of course, with Scott Moore. Nick Cole on the Kawasaki back one, Hayden Fitzgerald, Ray Free and Tony Rees. Goodness gracious me, there's eons of motorcycle racing experience sitting back there, all still in the top 10. James Smith from Christchurch on the big Honda as well there too, ninth ahead of Ryan Hampton, and there from Christchurch also, of course, out of Hampton Honda on the Honda.
Dennis Charlotte, the fastest man on the track. It's certainly showing he's nipping on the heels of Chris Seaton. Scotty Moyer's piling up.
I'm impressed with Scott Moyer. There is the change down the back straight, and it is Dennis Charlotte looking through on the inside of Chris Seaton. Is it going to happen? And look at Scott Moyer. He's waiting to pick up the pieces. He's close enough to across the stripe. Another lap behind him. Craig Shirts. Don't worry, here it is. Now is the big move, and it's not the big move. Under braking into Toyota they go, and it's a matter who has the quick line. The tight line, Chris Seaton race to go on track. Scotty Moyer sits behind him, and as they power out of there again, this is brilliant racing for that second place. Of course, Dennis has got the points on the board and Chris wasn't there at Hampton. So
nice going on there between Hayden and Nick Cole. Nick Cole slipped back, came through again, but Nick Cole blew his bike up in the warm-up session in the qualifying.
Oh, he's on number 2 bike.
He's gone to his B bike here. They changed over the wheels and bits and pieces, so probably not having a great day, but this will see him still lead the points because a lot of those guys in front of him are actually not featuring that well in the points. Craig Shirts, the current leader, had a DNF last weekend when I think he made a wet tyre choice when it was a drying track and pulled in.
Well, it's interesting that we should actually remind ourselves of the points at the moment with still, good heavens, 7 to go, is that Nick Cole has 48, Sloane Frost 45. Where are they? Nick slipping back, Sloane sitting on the pile. I'm impressed with Scott Moyer, no question about that. And sitting right in behind, and obviously he's lining up Chris Seaton as the next target, but who could not be impressed with the rider Craig Shirts, and it's good to see Craig back on, not I was going to say back on Suzuki, but he had a term with Honda as well, back in winning mode when he sets himself to it, and he has, the last decade or so, provided thrills aplenty on the street circuit at Wanganui as well there too. Certainly in the 600 class, one of the best riders ever in that class. In fact, going right back to 206 we talked about before, he was one, along with Andrew Stroud, of the 3 riders that made it all happen with Chris Seaton picking up that lap record. So here we are, 7 years later, both back racing against each other again, and Scott Moyer sort of going back to the 3rd place though for a moment, still sitting in 3rd is I should say Chris Seaton and Scotty Moyer still right behind him, but whether or not we can see Hayden Fitzgerald close up the gap anymore, and whether or not he can take Nick Cole with him, I guess remains to be seen. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's where we see them on. Then a bigger gap back till we go to Ray Clee, and then Tony Rees and Ryan Hampton.
Problems for Craig Shirts, he's got his hand up. Problems for the Craig Shirts on the AJ Boss Suzuki 6R1000, slow right up, and he's got his hand up, so that's him sideline. Don't know what's going on, but it's handed the lead to Dennis Charlotte, who wants to expand on the track, so it's now Dennis Charlotte, followed by Chris Seaton. Scotty Moyer's only half a point behind. As I say that, looked like he lost a bit of drive coming out of the hairpin. We go back to the Fitzgerald and the Red Devil Racing electric spider driven, sponsored Kawasaki ZX10. And further down the field, how's the other 2 Australians going? In fact, Sophie Lovett is in 17th spot. Can't see Phil Lovett sitting in there in 10th on the Kawasaki as well. Then a P and then a K. Well,
you're right, actually. You picked him up. He's behind Ryan Hampton in the top 10 and ahead of David. Steve Mazzura, too, the BMW BS bike, probably a little bit outgunned there ahead of Richard Taylor, John Oliver, and Dylan Telford, the young fellow there as well there, too, on the big Aprilia. But, Craig going back down the field now. That's a hand up. Is that a retirement coming? I haven't seen him go Yes, it is. Yep. Very, very sadly. The big thing about that is that it's not going to affect the Suzuki Series in any shape or form. He's going, it will do, but it's obviously this is all part of preparing for the New Zealand Superbike Championship. The guy who would have had the broadest smile on his face that time round would have been Dennis Charlotte. Because he would think, hello, that's extra points for me in the bank. Nick Cole not to be seen, and Dennis wouldn't be aware of where he is at the moment, obviously, but would have seen where Sloane Frost is. So Dennis Charlotte, he is the defending Suzuki Series champion, and he is leading well, comfortably in the lead. Chris Seaton up there to pick up points. Scotty Moyer on the podium as well. Hayden Fitzgerald, Nick Cole, this will be good for him as well there too on the points table, and I'm not too sure whether there's hold on a moment, we might just look back through that gap, and we're going for Hayden and Ray Clee.
Ray Clee passed him down the back straight he was going backwards almost.
Now Tony Rees and Ryan Hampton. So the point situation for Nick Cole, who of course starts today as the points leader, 3 points ahead of Sloane Frost. So he'll be keen, obviously, to pick up another point or two, but that list at the moment, that's just been spoiled by Ray Clee, who has gone ahead of him, and that's Ryan Hampton we see now with the red fairing bike and the white helmet through the midfield S's.
Chris Seaton sitting up the seat out of the hairpin there, so a bit of a moment for him, and that's played in the hands of the Suzuki GSX-R 1000 of Hayden Fitzgerald, as we see him go down the centre straight, dives on the inside of Chris Seaton, and he goes up to the second spot. Seaton trying to come back. Aprilia versus Suzuki. Suzuki's third, Suzuki second, but the Suzuki's got the leads down the back straight, so a small mistake by Chris Seaton coming out of the hairpin has cost him quite dearly.
And it might well be, I'm just going to say, it might well be that Scotty Moyer sees an advantage there as well there too. 3 to go, and there's still time for drama to happen. Craig is still looking very, very much the man out there at the moment, but that's a big gap really. In fact, that gap has opened up. Chris Seaton back to Scott Moyer. Right, our race leader on the, not the lap, they get the white flag next time round, so the second to last lap, the penultimate lap, and Craig doing an outstanding job out there.
That's a great ride from Hayden Fitzgerald.
Yes, it is too.
On the 3 bike as well, as far as proceeded for the last couple of seasons.
Well, Hayden, of course, Hayden was sitting here in the points table. In fact, equal the points table with Linda McGee in the top 6.
Here comes Seaton back on the charge, took the drive out of the hairpin over and above Hayden Fitzgerald, and has gone down the centre straight, side by side going around Higgins. It just seems to be that Hayden's bike's just that quicker down the straight. But Seaton on the inside, there's not much in it. There's not even half a bike length. It's doing a big braking duel down the back straight there, and Seaton closes up there, but not enough to do it. They might sweep around through the sweep, and we're looking out for the white flag now. No, it should be another lap, sorry, I apologise for that. And we are coming across back roads. There's Dennis Charlotte goes through past Australian Doug Hall and gives him a wave, and Doug's going to pull over there and let the other guys go through. Doug Hall come in and bought a street bike, like a track bike, SP1 Honda, and is enjoying his New Zealand sojourn in racing. Oh, we got someone down there. Looks like Scotty Moyer went down at exactly the same pace as Lynn McGee. He's running off to the tyre wall. It looks like he lost his front wheel.
It did. It looked like he lost the front. That's the big the entrance to the right hand. They're coming into the midfield there. So all of a sudden now, that's a Ray Clee up into the point. Excellent stuff there from Nick Cole as well, because Nick on the top of the points table will be looking for the extra points there as well, and he's sitting right in. So let's go to our race leaders. In fact, we've only got the one race leader. That's Dennis Charlotte at the moment, and there's the back. We're amongst some back markers as well, and we're waiting for Dennis come into line. They're running under the white flag, the checkered flag about to be flourished. And are they sure they know who's down there? That's it. I just wonder whether they may have missed one. Checkered flag, really was a lot of time.
Underground Suzuki, and there's only about 5 bike legs in it from Chris Seaton, so it's 275 in the second.
And Hayden Fitzgerald there. Scotty Moyer up there, well, not Scott Moyer. Hold on, we called that Scott Moyer down. That wasn't the black bike coming from the top. What have I... Is it Scott Moyer still running around out there?
Oh, no, I would maybe suspect that. But, indeed it is Carl Benamore on the Honda CBR 1000. Apologies, folks, it was Carl Benamore. The important thing is Carl jumped straight up there and run to the tyre wall. Right. As we see Sloane Frost remounting his bike coming into the pits. So what a dramatic...